East Africa is unlike any other place to shoot. Not only does it have incredible biodensity, the animals here have such raw power and charisma.
These vast open plains that just go on for as far as your eye can see.
For all that East Africa promises, in this job, you learn to expect the unexpected.
This is not how I was expecting today to start. This is actually nuts.
It's not like England where you get 6 hours of drizzle. If it rains, it really rains.
You okay up there?
I mean, I like dramatic weather. I think that's where the magic happens. You know, if you've got plain blue sky, you can't have dramatic lighting. You know, the moment this passes, you can get sunbeams, God rays, you can get sunsets. You know, you need atmospherics and clouds to have that kind of light. So, you know, you can't have a rainbow without rain.
I just feel like so many animals dislike the rain, and will be probably hiding away somewhere trying to avoid this right now. And for me, I really want a really nice behavioural sequence this trip. I need them to be like out and active rather than like sad and hiding from the rain. So yeah, hopefully it will clear up and we'll get some action a bit later on.
We flew all this way to leave cold and wet England, and here we are.
So I'm a fine art photographer, and the way that I define fine art is having artistic pieces that have soul, have narrative, have a meaning and a purpose. I'm very drawn to hope messaging, so stories that show that we have taken positive actions and that we have made a difference and there is still time for us to do these kind of things, because that enables us to empower people to say, well, hey, actually your changes, they make a difference and it's not all too late.
I see myself as a storyteller, but also a conservationist and an animal activist. So I think like that's the root of my work, is wanting to make a difference to animals rather than just tell their stories, change how people perceive animals as beings, as sentient beings with family, with emotions, with relationships just like our own. And that's kind of like the driving force for what I do as a storyteller.
A photographer is only as good as their guide. For us, that was Anderson.
So we've just pulled up alongside a cheetah that's feasting on something. I can't see what. Something small.
They are beautiful animals, aren't they? The black markings on their face, they act as basically as natural sunglasses. They reduce the glare of the sun. And if you see baseball players, you know, often they have this black paint under that. It's the same concept. You're a wildlife lover first and a photographer second. We've got the rain hitting the roof and we're just, 3 meters away from a cheetah. So, photo or no photo.
I think it was really poignant to start with the cheetah because their numbers are in decline. So to have this sighting and such a special sighting with a cheetah to start our trip was kind of like a good way of kicking it all off, I think.
The cheetahs are now like vulnerable to extinction. The team that's working on cheetahs, I feel proud. I feel like I'm working on a vulnerable animal we're trying to figure out on how to save the species, because cheetahs are now facing a lot of threats inside protected areas but also outside protected areas. There are estimated to be around 7,100 cheetahs in the world. 67% of the cheetah population lives outside of the core protected areas. We have to come up with something that can enable coexistence between the cheetahs and the neighboring communities. Introducing these nature-based solutions can be one of the best ways on how to tackle the climate change.
We are currently looking at a leopard that is fast asleep in the tree.
We've got a little bit of face.
Please, please. Oh,
A little bit of
I
chin.
see a little chin. She's quite nice. Oh, he's looking.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely. That was a nice little moment.
This is Cairo, a bold male leopard. We tracked him to a large copy, waiting for a moment to unfold. To find a leopard on our first full day meant we knew we were in the right place. But so much has to come together for a scene to work artistically. And this time, our patience wasn't rewarded with a shot.
We've got leopard, we've got sun, light, scenery, we've got everything just matched together.
No, he's still fast asleep. You can do as much research as you can to be in the right place at the right time, but if the animals aren't there, or if they are there but they're asleep or they are not there in the right light, it's ultimately out of your control. I'm doing what I can, but everything else is just nature.
Leopard are the most elusive of the big cats. Finding them can be incredibly difficult. And encounters like ours with Cairo don't just happen. They're the result of a skilled and intuitive guide.
So would you say that the bigger threat to these animals at the moment is human habitat encroachment and human conflict?
In a natural way, with the natural hazards, it's like it is the cycle of life. Things has to balance themselves. But with the human activities and human conflict, that will make me. It makes me very sad because, as we said yesterday, we have to preserve what we have. This is the treasure that we have around here. So, without preserving it, the next generation won't be able to see what we're seeing right now. It will be just like history.
So many people think that all these issues are a long way off. That, future generations' problems. Climate change, habitat destruction. Yes, they're problems, but they're not our problem. Yeah. And as you rightly say, these animals might not be here in a few years. I mean, there's a lot of critically endangered animals out here, and these are things that we need to help now. And that's part of what we're trying to do here is raise awareness for these animals and raise awareness for these issues, and hope that people engage today, rather than just constantly kicking that can down the road.
I feel enormously privileged to be with these animals, and what I get in exchange is the opportunity to do something for them. And if I'm not doing that, then I feel like it's a very one-sided relationship. And so you have this heavy burden of thinking that every time you go out into the field, you're there to try and make a difference. And in a world that's so saturated with imagery, how do you do that in a way that makes people stop their scroll on Instagram, really grab their attention, make people stop when they're walking down the high street and look in the gallery? It's a high bar. And when you take that mindset to each and every interaction, it's a challenge and a huge amount of pressure. But at the same time, that's because we want to do something. You know, we're not there simply to take photographs for us, for ego, just as a career. This is because we're trying to make a difference, and that is a really weighty responsibility.
We're going back to the leopard that we have been spending a significant amount of our time trying to get a shot of. He's sinking.
I mean, the ideal would be him jumping down that side, wouldn't it? I don't know. I mean, I do think that whatever happens, he's going to get up and he's going to stretch. So there'll be something. Whether or not we get the leap down in the way that we want it to, who knows? And it's a bit of a balance, right? Because the longer we wait, the better the light gets until it's gone. So, you know, you're encouraged to think, like, this is good, don't go now, don't go now, don't go now, until he hasn't gone and it's dark, and then you're like, I wish he went. But if we go that side, we can shoot into the sun. We might be able to get that back here, around there, so the sun's on him. I mean, that could be nice.
There's nice for me.
Yeah, okay, let's take that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, this is like very Harry vibes.
Very Harry vibes.
Yeah. Please look at us, please.
No, come on.
Come on, please.
The one person not pulling his weight is Cairo.
And that's the nature of working with a wild animal, but it doesn't make it any less disappointing.
I really want to capture something that lives up to Namiri. You remain optimistic that it's going to happen, but I'm beginning to get that feeling that time is running out.
Are you actually not scared at all?
No.
No.
Not otherwise.
I am.
No, don't be scared.
No. It's fine. Just the big male lion.
He's scared, not us.
I am scared. I'd seen male lions before, but because I tend to do long lens work, not in any close proximity, whereas you're like on a 35mm, you want close and wide. So it was, yeah, a much closer encounter than what I am used to.
So he just used to do things with lots of eyes.
I've shot lots of female lions or sleepy males, but I feel like being stood up and like physically moving towards your space is far more intimidating.
Making eye contact. And
Yeah, that's quite something.
Yes, he is nomadic. One of the 7 nomadic males.
you know, compared to yesterday with a leopard, completely predictable. We can reposition. We've got lots of opportunities. You know, you're not waiting for that 1 second. I haven't quite got the pose I want, but we are getting there.
is going to find a place to rest for the rest of the day. These young males are actually the sons of the golden boys that we're looking for this morning. The golden boys, it has been like, I've been following them for like 2 years now, or 2 years and, 2 years and a couple of months. They've been moving along these eastern circuit, going from Barafu copies. They expanded their territory going to zebra copies. So you can just see with the coalition of them being free, it makes them become very, very powerful.
Oh, he's got nice names. Wow, you are very pretty. That one on the left is an absolute postcard.
Yeah, these are the golden boys, huh?
We'll find them, won't we? They're not going to run far.
Yeah.
And if they're in the bush, we can't shoot them anyway.
Yeah, we'll just have to make sure that they're in the bush. If they're...
This was kind of the first one where it was really up to us each day, how we used our time. And I guess that had this added layer of like complexity to working together, because ultimately we are two different creatives, so we're always going to want a different thing out of a location.
Well, just I'm a big believer in sitting and finding out exactly what happens, so we know for sure.
I mean, I can't shoot anything now.
Yeah.
I'm not getting anything nice.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to go far.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So yeah, we try them later in the evening.
You know, there's so much that we have in common, but there are key differences which are completely the opposite. Where I'm looking for this single moment, that can be taken from a very small interaction. So a lion could get up for 1 second and sit back down, but that could be the moment. That doesn't work for video. On the flip side, you know, I have much less available light in the evenings, and so I can't work with that, but I can probably work more in the heat of the day. You know, particularly with monochrome, I'm less worried about golden hour and that kind of thing. So there are definitely different nuances as to what works for one and what doesn't work for the other one.
Within each situation, like I really like backlit shots, but Harry doesn't like backlit shots. Or I'm like, I will not shoot in broad daylight. Harry doesn't mind shooting in broad daylight. So we're actually quite different in terms of our like styles and what we want, and working together in a way that worked for both of us was something new to me.
As it cools down, like when it gets dark, they start becoming very active. They'll start doing some of the activities like advertising themselves, patrolling the territory, and if they're hungry, they'll start looking for food.
Oh, cats.
Now like the light's gone. I do this because I love it and I love wildlife, so just getting to sit and spend my evening with 2 male lions is really cool. It's just from the, I guess, camera operator side of things that the frustration comes in a bit. I feel like otherwise I'm just sat here enjoying it selfishly, whereas being able to document them in a really epic or beautiful way means I get to share that with others and hopefully play a part of inspiring the next generation of conservationists or female camera operators, which there's still so few of, So there's one thing, me sat here and enjoying it, and then there's another of having an impact of me being here.
Hii hapa kama unaingia kwa ile korongo la kwanza au korongo lile. Yeah.
We're gonna have time. Yeah? Okay. We are pretty much out of light, so we're gonna have to absolutely bomb it. But caracal are very rare. We obviously saw one the other day, but only from a glimpse. We got, like, I don't know, 10 minutes.
How far away is it?
No idea.
I feel like this is a risky move right now.
This is a real roll of the dice.
I mean, if this pays off and we get a caracal at sunset with the last glimmer of light, that would be epic.
Yeah, it's the fringes of the day where the magic happens, so we just never know.
However, we've got probably 10 minutes,
If that.
if that, and after that it's just shooting in
My
darkness.
heart's in my mouth.
I also know how much you really especially wanted that shot.
Look, male lion shots will come again. Caracals are very, very rare.
Whoa!
If it was to work out, you could go a whole career again and not get that again. So let's give it a go. If Anderson thinks we can get there, he would say, like, there's the caracal, but it's too far. Somewhere. They say it's somewhere here.
I see it.
If you stand up, you'll be able to see it. It's sat down in the grass. Yeah, that's going to be a heck of a difficult shot.
Difficult shot. Yeah. It's tiny.
They're so cute, aren't they? They're so slight. Wow, she is so pretty. Oh, she's going to go. She's going to go. I can't see a shot. I mean, she's really trying to avoid the jeeps, and I don't want to stress her for the sake of a shot. You know, we've lost the light already, but it is not every day that you see a caracal from quite a distance. I've never seen one with my eyes like that. She's skittish. She's very skittish. As the sun dipped, the other vehicles left, and we hung back to give her the space she needed. By respecting her body language, she could step out on her own terms.
That was really cool. I've never seen a caracal until this trip. It was really, really stunning. And I couldn't believe how small they were.
I'm sorry about the driving. But I was so excited. I mean, because I was just trying to chase that light. And I was also excited seeing a caracal because it's also very, very rare to see it.
Honestly, it could be once in a career sighting. We didn't have the light, probably just about to make a photograph. Certainly not one which I can print big. You know, you had to bump the ISO up a little bit and you're working with slow shutters. But, you know, we were 3 meters side by side to a caracal. That's, you know, you can't really write that.
Where she just looked straight down my lens, I was like, oh, she's so beautiful. So it's just like that, those moments where you just feel in awe of another animal I always love.
Here, us sitting here as wildlife lovers, we're like ecstatic, but there's this nagging thing where like, I don't feel like I still have captured that moment. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword, that one. But I'm going to sit in the glow of caracal.
Even when we were driving up, I was thinking, I was stressed because we just left those 2 male lions, and I was like, oh gosh, like, did we make the right decision? We made the right decision. Teamwork.
I'll take one of those. We got up very early, just taking a quiet moment. This is very invasive. 90 minutes. But we've had, what, like 3-4 nights on the trot like this, so we kind of need some magic to happen.
They're lovely.
And then I stopped being able to fit.
How are you, Roxy?
Bummed out.
Yeah?
I mean, obviously I loved watching the cubs playing, and it was nice to be there and enjoy it, but I just, in terms of knowing we've got, 2 full days left here, which means only 2 more sunsets, and I feel like we've given a lot of time waiting for a shot of a cat, and I haven't got anything. I didn't get anything good tonight. I enjoyed it, but I didn't get anything good, so it's now getting to the stage of, will we get it before we go home?
Pressure's mounting, isn't it? Well, we're putting ourselves in the right place. You know, we've got a great guide. We have got, time on our side originally. And so much of this is staying patient, and we continue to be, but we don't have unlimited time.
The visuals aren't there, and they're not epic and beautiful and moving, then it's not going to have the same impact.
Without that hook, without that moment to share with people, you can't really give yourself the space to talk about what you want to talk about. Otherwise, we live in this ephemeral world where people scroll and scroll and scroll, and if you're not stopping them on that scroll, then your message is just never getting read. It just feels like pressure, doesn't it?
We've had sightings of 2 of the Golden Boys, Rolo and Kaka, but the third brother, Rasta, has been nowhere to be found. You could see that Anderson was worried, and he really cared for this lion, and he made finding Rasta his mission.
On a mission.
You're on a mission.
So you think he's better looking than Rolo?
I think so.
I like that little kiss of white in his hair.
Yeah, I think he's gorgeous. I really like his white patch.
Me too, actually. And that will work really nicely in monochrome as well.
We've seen Rolo, and right now we've seen Rasta. He's a very good-looking male lion.
That actually raised my heart rate for the first time.
I was like, whoa. He's just got this aura about him, I think. He just feels very bold and beautiful and don't know how to describe it other than just he's a very beautiful lion.
If you were to draw a lion, he's the lion you draw. You know, he is the perfect specimen of a lion.
So we're currently on our final morning game drive and we're just sat watching the sunrise with a whole herd of elephants.
I think I could sit and watch elephants all my life. They are lovely animals, and yeah, it makes you feel very reflective, I think, being around them. And you know, we had this amazing trip, and what a way to send off.
I guess I feel like I have a more hopeful approach to it. I do believe that there are shifts happening. They're too slow, but I'm kind of still on the hopeful side that we can turn things around. You know, it's not too late if we make some radical changes in the near future. I think I'd rather see my work as like helping to inspire people to make those changes so that people can still see all these amazing animals.
Hope messaging is so important in conservation. I think people are so good at just switching themselves off to negative stories that we have to show people that there are times that we can do it. You know, there are campaigns around the world where we have made massive strides, and it shows that actually if we all pitch together and we act with the level that we need and the urgency that we need, that we can do it. If we all consolidated and we all acted together, we could make this place unbelievable. We could protect it for generations to come. I do believe that we have the power and ability to do that. It's not too late, but we are running out of time, and I think that urgency is what we're trying to convey.